The U.S. struck a framework trade agreement with the European Union on Sunday. The deal, which comes after months of negotiations, imposes a 15% import tariff on most EU goods, which is half the rate U.S. President Donald Trump previously threatened. The two allies account for almost a third of global trade. Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced the deal at Trump's luxury golf course in western Scotland.
So we have good news. We've reached a deal. It's a good deal for everybody, I believe. And I think you were saying this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
It is.
Von der Leyen described Trump as a tough negotiator and later told reporters the deal was, quote, the best we could get.
15% is not to be underestimated, but it is the best we could get. It's overall across the board.
Trump said the deal calls for $750 billion of EU purchases of U.S. energy in coming years and, quote, hundreds of billions of dollars of arms purchases. A senior U.S. administration official told reporters on Sunday that Trump retains the ability to increase the tariffs in the future if European countries do not live up to their investment commitments. If all the details hold, it likely spells good news for a host of EU companies, such as Airbus and Novo Nordisk, as well as those in Germany's auto sector, which have been some of the hardest hit by the 27.5% U.S. tariff on car and parts imports currently in place. However, the baseline 15% tariff will still be seen by many in Europe as too high, compared with Europe's initial hopes to secure a zero-for-zero tariff deal. While the tariff applies to most goods, including semiconductors and pharmaceuticals, there are exceptions. The U.S. will keep in place a 50% tariff on steel and aluminum, while von der Leyen said there would be no tariffs from either side on certain products, including aircraft and aircraft parts, natural resources, and critical raw materials. She said she would continue to work to add more products to that list, and that tariff rates on spirits were still under discussion, a highly charged topic for many on both sides of the Atlantic. The deal will be sold as a triumph for Trump, who is seeking to reorder the global economy and reduce decades-old U.S. trade deficits. He has already reached similar framework accords with Britain, Japan, Indonesia, and Vietnam, although his administration has not hit its goal of 90 deals in 90 days. After a months-long standoff, many may see the 15% tariff as a reality check on the aspirations of the 27-country European Union. ING chief economist Carsten Bresky says it's a painful thing to accept for the bloc.
If there is a loser in these negotiations, it is more likely to be Europe, because the economic damage to Europe will be significantly higher than the potential inflationary damage to the Americans.
This rescue operation has now been completed. To our knowledge, there are no more people in the carriages and everyone has received medical attention. That is why the medical emergency services have been scaled back, with only a few people remaining on site. And the firefighters, together with the technical rescue services, are now clearing the scene so that we can take further action.
Samsung Electronics shares jumped Monday on news of a big deal to make chips for Tesla. Elon Musk says his EV firm has signed a $16.5 billion contract for the supply of semiconductors. That should be a big boost for Samsung's loss-making contract chip-making business. Shares in the firm were up around 6% by early afternoon following the news. Musk said a new Samsung facility in the US would be dedicated to production of the chips. That could refer to a planned plant in Taylor, Texas, which has faced delays amid the South Korean firm's struggles to win and retain big customers. Musk said the plant was conveniently located near his house, and he would personally inspect it to help accelerate progress. It's all very timely for Samsung, which has dropped behind competitors in the race to supply AI chips. Local rival SK Hynix and Taiwan giant TSMC are both seen to have streaked ahead. That has weighed heavily on Samsung's profits and share price. Analysts say the deal could also be helpful for South Korea, as it battles to clinch a trade deal with the US. The country is seeking partnerships on chips and shipbuilding as part of talks to avert a potential 25% tariff.
В 8 часа въпросът беше, може ли да помага някакво, да ви карате да пазим някакво.